Hello and welcome back to the Tea and a Buddy podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And today's episode we're going to be talking about if Britain had its own Mount Rushmore, who would be on it? Which four people from history would be on it?
Yeah.
So
we know that Mount Rushmore is a controversial subject.
It's pretty controversial, yeah.
But we're not going to get into the controversy surrounding it.
Yeah,
we're just going to keep it light.
Keeping it light-hearted, keeping it fun.
I mean, theoretically, we could
fun
talk
and
about
frolics.
who now in 2023 we think should be on a Mount Rushmore, even here in the United States. You know
because
what I
it was
mean?
built in, well, it was built, I say, it was carved. In the Black Mountain Hills of Dakota, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In the,
I'm not sure when it was started. It took a while, obviously.
It took a while, obviously. But it was finished in, like, the 1920s. Oh, no, it was actually the 1920s it was started.
Okay, you looked it up, did you?
Yeah. And it was finished in 1941.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because the movie, what is the movie? North by Northwest?
Cary Grant?
Yes. Yeah. Which, I mean, that was not in the 40s, but it was, 50s, I guess?
They were just finishing it or something, weren't they?
They had just finished it. I mean, it had just become a big attraction.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they featured it in that film. But yeah, obviously, for anybody who, I say obviously, for anybody who is listening, who has no idea what Mount Rushmore is, perhaps you are in another country.
Yeah.
Perhaps you're in America and you still don't know.
What is Mount Rushmore and what are you talking about?
Yeah, well, tell us, because I think you've got the information up, don't you?
It's
just
a national
really quickly
memorial.
before we get into...
Yeah. It's like the six grandfathers, but it's actually four.
Yeah.
Four past presidents.
The six grandfathers.
That's what it's called in Lakota, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah,
and,
it's the big...
It's near Keystone in South Dakota.
It's the big
Black
mountain
Hills.
that we have here in the United States that has the four of our past presidents' heads carved onto the side of it.
Yeah, and they are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
So, yeah, just basically,
Yeah. So when we talk now about who would be on a British Mount Rushmore...
I mean, would you limit it to, like, kings? Or queens? Because I put this out on Twitter and Instagram.
We should have really
asked... I've got a couple of people responding, so
we should have really
we'll talk about
asked,
that later on.
Who do you think should be on a Mount Rushmore now? In the United States, because I think that's an interesting topic unto itself.
Yeah, that's a good.
Take controversy away and focus on this is the year 2023. Who would we like to see on a Mount Rushmore in the United States now? I don't know if I could come up with four people off the top of my head. There's been a lot of history.
There's been a lot of history. Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
That's what they say about the UK as well. There's a lot of people to consider.
Gosh. The UK, I don't know.
Just for four, if you're just limiting it to four faces.
I mean,
and it's also a location thing. It's like, where would you put this? Because, we don't have very many mountains like the Black Hills,
Yeah. So I'm going to confess that I have not put any thought into this previous to us recording this podcast. So have you? I mean, did you make a little list up?
I put a little list up, but I'm also kind of like, again, I wasn't limiting it to prime ministers or kings and queens and stuff like that, because, I mean, that's ultimately what it would probably be.
Do you think?
If it was a thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes. I mean, who thinks that they're important enough to have a statue after themselves or something like that? It is just prime ministers, presidents, kings, These are the people that think that they're that
kingly
important.
Ways.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot more important people
throughout
history.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, but if I was thinking about it, like, logically, I think William Shakespeare...
Oh, yeah.
...would be one.
Yeah,
Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like him or hate him, know.
Yeah. And John Lennon.
John
Lennon.
Yes.
The ultimate working class hero in there.
You know what? Just take everybody away and let's just have the four Beatles.
Well, that's what someone on Instagram
here
said
in the
to
United
us as
States,
well.
Here in the United States and in Britain. Like, let's just make
There's
a monument to them.
I'm surprised that they haven't done that in Liverpool somewhere. Like constructed like a mountain and just sculpted a huge heads, four heads into it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they did the big statues that are larger than life there on the
waterfront.
They're not quite the same. It's not quite the same.
And they got Brian Epstein in the Whitechapel.
I guess it would have to be in, like, I don't know, the Peak District somewhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, a suitable location for
Mount
this.
Snowdon, in Wales. I don't know.
I mean, maybe you could find a mountain in England, maybe somewhere in the Peak District, a mountain in Wales and a mountain in Scotland.
Yeah.
And just have them, like, as, like, like, someone who was a hero to the Welsh, someone who was a hero to the Scots, someone who's an English hero.
I mean, I would imagine.
And you could just have three faces. I mean, I'm leaving out Northern Ireland here, but I mean...
Yeah.
That's controversial in itself, really,
Yeah. I would imagine J.K. Rowling would...
J.K. Rowling on all of them?
Would think that she deserved to have her head on the side of a mountain, if I were guessing.
Just make Britain J.K. Rowling's head shaped. That's all we need to do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's not without her own controversy now. So it's like...
Yes. And the thing is find somebody in history that's not... You know what I mean?
Well, yes, exactly. Nobody's true.
Perfect. I mean, of course, there are some people who are worse than others. But I don't really think there's such a thing as a perfect person. Oh, gosh.
Well, no, there isn't, is
I
there?
think Shakespeare, definitely.
Shakespeare, definitely, because, I mean, his stuff is world-renowned at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, you could say he gave birth to the modern English language, with his plays and, stuff like that. And, I mean, yeah.
I think it would be nice to have somebody representing all the arts, so Shakespeare for writing. Maybe John Lennon for music.
Or Paul McCartney, or George Harrison, or even Ringo Starr.
What about like painting, like visual art? Who would the British person be?
Oh, David Hockney?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is just your kind of like, this is just us. We'll get to the people, our listeners.
Yeah. If you guys didn't send any suggestions in, but would like to suggest some people, I'd be really curious to see who all you think would belong on the side of a mountain.
Let us know.
Yeah.
We're always open to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. There's just so many, maybe Alan Partridge.
Yes, Alan Partridge. The four faces of Alan Partridge.
Oh, God. Yeah. Keith Richards, it's like you could have some really interesting people on the side of a mountain in Britain.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a couple of people on Instagram. We've got a couple of people who said, someone said the Beatles.
Yeah, just the Beatles.
The Beatles. That's four of them. Yeah. You don't need anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Bugger off Shakespeare.
Yeah. I mean, you could always do like Jane Austen.
The Kings and all that.
If you were going, if you were trying to choose four writers.
Jane Austen.
Yeah.
Bronte sisters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think there was 3 of them, so that works out.
I mean, there's just really so many people in history to choose from in Britain. It's kind of like, how would you narrow it down? You sort of see why maybe it doesn't exist over there.
Someone else said Churchill, Thatcher, Francis Drake, and Henry V. I guess Henry VIII they maybe meant to say.
Yeah.
Because Henry V. Well, maybe Henry V. Maybe they meant to say Henry V. I don't know.
Yeah.
The UK has a lot to choose from. It's a hard one.
Yeah.
Another person said Billy the Conqueror. William the Conqueror.
Billy.
Billy the Conqueror.
They're that close.
They're that close. They're
that close to a relationship.
Bill the Conqueror. Winston Churchill and Queen Elizabeth's 1 and 2, maybe?
Yeah.
Because, we haven't had 3 yet,
so... yeah. Queen Victoria. I mean, if you
Queen Victoria. If you were looking for, like, a royal... type thing, because they asked this question. I think they asked this question on Quora because they asked the same kind of question. If Italy had its own Mount Rushmore, who would be on it? And if France had its own Mount Rushmore, who would be on it?
And I wonder, did you look at on any of those? Like, were most of the answers political?
Mostly, and royal, and
because I don't really think like. It's
people
not necessarily...
go first up monarchs, next prime ministers.
Yeah, okay. If you're going to do it like categories like that, because I don't really think like. When I think of the most important people in history, they're not necessarily political leaders, are they? You know?
Yeah, no.
I mean, I understand why people go to that. It's because on the actual Mount Rushmore here in the States, it's presidents.
It's just presidents. And if you're going to go with that, then you'd have to go with, like, prime ministers or kings or queens.
Yeah, and which prime ministers would you choose? Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard one, really. Yeah. I mean, the one on...
Could you imagine putting Thatcher on there? That would be quite controversial.
Somebody actually did it.
Yeah.
In their nomination, it said Prime Minister will nominate Robert Peel, Clement Attlee, Margaret Thatcher, and Robert Walpole.
Interesting.
Robert Peel, he's...
I think it's got to be Tony Blair if I'm going for Prime Minister.
Tony Blair, a controversial choice there.
Tony Blair, let's
almost
put David
as controversial
Cameron on
as
there.
Thatcher.
Why not Boris? You know,
Boris.
Can you imagine Boris's head on the side of a mountain?
I think just Liz Truss. It'd be longer lasting than her prime ministry anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know really. I mean, I'd have Harold Wilson. Clement Attlee, definitely. Because he ushered in the NHS.
Yeah.
As for prime ministers. Yeah, Harold Wilson, Clement Attlee, and if we had to have some Tories... Ted Heath. I mean, I don't want to pick Thatcher.
Winston Churchill, he wasn't a Tory?
Oh, yes, he was. Yeah, that's true. Winston Churchill and Ted Heath, then.
Yeah.
Even though Ted Heath, you know, it's like, who's Ted Heath?
Yeah. I mean, there's been some big military and naval leaders in Britain that you probably choose
Wellington.
From.
Yeah, Wellington.
Well,
I forgot his name now.
Somebody.
Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking Trafalgar.
Yeah.
No, that's not his name. See, I'm having one of those days, everybody.
Yeah.
And people say William Shakespeare, Charles Darwin, Isaac Newton.
Oh, yeah.
James Watt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of things. And I mean, kings and queens, yeah, people will go Henry VIII, Queen Elizabeth, Queen Victoria, maybe...
Charles the...
Second?
The second, is it?
Yeah.
The one who, oh, God.
The one who got...
Whatever.
His head cut off, and then...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The one who...
Oliver Cromwell.
Yeah. What about Oliver Cromwell? No?
Nah.
What about...
He's that's why I think there hasn't been another revolution, a civil war since him.
Yeah.
I don't think there was another civil war after Cromwell. Because a lot of people were just like, yeah, this isn't going to work, we need a monarchy in here.
Yeah.
At least,
we need one.
Because nobody really liked Cromwell. And I think that's when Cromwell took over, that's when a lot of the immigration to America came, the Mayflower and all that.
Yeah.
They were just like, yeah, we just need to get out of here now.
Yeah.
Just need to go across the sea and start up a new life over there. See what happens, know? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that kind of thing. Yeah, we've got a couple of people on Twitter who submitted their answers.
Oh, yeah.
Cruising the Cut, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Said David Attenborough.
Oh,
and I was thinking of David Attenborough, too.
Oh, that'd be a good one, yeah.
David Attenborough,
definitely.
Judi Dench.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Berners-Lee.
Oh, God. If you went for actors, my God, there's just endless fabulous actors to choose from in Britain.
Judi Dench. Tim Berners-Lee.
I don't know who that is.
He invented the World Wide Web.
Oh, well,
and people confuse that because everybody in Britain says, oh, he invented the internet when he didn't.
Okay, yeah.
But they like to say, oh, he invented the internet. It was a British person who invented the internet. So you have that to thank for Britain. But he actually just invented the World Wide Web, which is,
which just connected everyone.
Connected everyone, websites and all that,
Which that's probably,
well, that's pretty good. You needed that, because you were just...
The internet would be kind of pointless without that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Simon Cowell.
Simon Cowell. I mean...
He's been responsible, I guess, for producing most of the hits of the last decade, I guess.
Yeah.
Reality TV.
Probably more than that. He's created a bunch of
I think he had something to do with Take That.
Shows.
I'm not sure, though.
Man, actors, I didn't
Simon
think about
Cowell,
that.
though, I mean, he looks like Mount Rushmore now, doesn't he? He's been chiseled in, too, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Another person said Churchill, Wellington, Bobby Moore, and Brian Cant.
I don't know who the last two are. Bobby Moore, who's
Bobby Moore, he's the man who invented the skip.
The skip? Okay.
No, he's not really.
What?
He was captain of the England football team.
I was just going to say, I'm surprised. It's like some people would definitely have a full Mount Rushmore with just, athletes,
yes,
right?
it would, football stars, rugby stars, whatever. Cricket stars. Yeah, because, I mean, there's a lot of them. And it's like, that's an interesting thing to put out there. Tell us your Mount Rushmore of football people. Would you have Messi up there? Would you have Ronaldo? Would you have Bobby Moore?
Just worldwide, not just British.
Not just British.
Okay, yeah.
But, I mean, British legends who... Yeah, that's even... It's even more...
I mean, it could kind of be an endless... discussion couldn't it? Because
who would you put?
If I was doing my Mount Rushmore of 60s British 60s icons, right? Swinging London British 60s icons.
Yeah,
it would be probably I'd have to go for just one of the Beatles.
Yeah, which one though?
It would probably be
who are you going to pick?
It would probably be John Lennon.
John Lennon.
Just because of, everything. The Yoko, all of that.
John Lennon and Yoko?
No.
Yeah,
John
Yoko.
Lennon, Mary Quant.
Yeah, Mary Quant.
I mean, we have the mini skirt. Is it?
Yes,
yeah, it's her.
Yeah.
To credit with the mini skirt.
The mini skirt, yeah. Fashion.
And also her little haircut, which she got that actually from Beat I'll Assume, but
we have to credit Vidal on that one.
I would possibly put David Bailey in there.
Oh yeah, photography.
He photographed
everyone
in the 60s.
Absolutely.
Oh my god! And now thinking of somebody he photographed also. Maybe Michael Caine?
Michael Caine. I thought you were going to say the Craze, and I was like, that's a bit controversial.
But one of them on a... Yeah, jeez.
But yes.
They would definitely think that they deserve to be up there, I would imagine.
Yes. And it's like, that's the kind of thing, it's just kind of like, that's it, there you go. True crime.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Who would be your big,
If you could only choose one of the Beatles, who else would be on your... British invasion Mount Rushmore? I
think I'd choose George over John and Paul.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because George, it's George.
Yeah, and then
he deserves to have it. What, out of the Beatles, or who else in the British invasion?
Who else? Your other four British invasion? No, you can't have. You can only have one of the Beatles.
One of the Beatles. And then I have George.
That is kind of... George kind of does represent the 60s. I should have put him instead of John.
Yeah, he kind of represents...
sitar.
Yeah, he created that whole culture.
And instead of Michael Caine, I maybe should have put... I mean, he doesn't really go with swinging 60s, though, so... I was going to say Sean Connery because of James Bond.
Yeah, Sean Connery. He's another one of the film actors who personified the 60s. Yeah, my British invasion artist, I'm trying to think now. Who who was bigger over here than just the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, really? I mean, everyone came over here.
Yeah.
But it was like, who was like huge?
I'd probably put, I mean, I'm just looking at books on our bookshelf
as huge
here.
as the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. That's all I really associate with, like, the British invasion.
I probably might put Paul McCartney on my British invasion Mount Rushmore, because I think that the songs that he mostly wrote were the bigger hits for the most part.
Maybe, yeah.
Especially in, like, the early 60s. Or, maybe more so in the later, actually.
For Hey Jude.
I'd put... Ooh, who would it be, Keith or Mick? If you could only choose one Rolling Stone. Or would it be, like, Charlie Watts?
Charlie Watts? Why not? Put him up there, yeah. I mean, I'd say Mick.
Mick, yeah.
I'm thinking of other bands now, British invasion bands. I mean, Ray Davies.
Eric
Burden.
Maybe like Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, you could do this for every category, couldn't you? And we mentioned actors before. You could do, like, writers. You could do...
actors is a lot, yeah.
Oh, geez, yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see, like, an actor's Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Laurence Olivier would probably be on there.
Yeah.
Esteemed actors of the age.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, there's only one more on Twitter, and they said what we said, Wellington, Churchill, Walter Raleigh, and Nelson. And it would be in Yorkshire. Because I did ask, where would it be?
Oh,
and it probably would be in Yorkshire. Big Yorkshire Dales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's where you should put it, really. It's just like, it's like almost like in the slap bang in the middle of England. Well, in the middle of Britain, anyway.
Yeah.
If you're counting Scotland and everything,
Gosh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people I just, like, it's something you could really, like, go on and on and on about, really. Just all the people that you'd want on one of the... Because I don't even understand why they wanted to do it over here in the first place, really. It's like, let's put the 4 presidents in Dakota.
Yeah.
And is it like, because it was in Dakota and it was kind of like
You're saying Dakota.
It's South Dakota.
Yeah.
Dakota. One of the Dakotas. Let's just say that,
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it was just kind of like one of those things. Like, that mountain, it needs 4 presidents on it.
Yeah.
It needs Washington and...
I'm sure there's some specific reason, like, we need tourism to this state, or, you know what I mean? Like
South Dakota, it's not getting as big as tourism as LA or New York. We need somewhere on the way to stop off.
We need somewhere that's, like, very American.
I guess South Dakota is very American, because I mean that's what the controversy kind of comes from. I know we said we weren't going to get into it. Yeah. But, it's just kind of like, that's where it comes from. It's like that, it's right there. It's in, and, the slave owners and all this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, as you say...
And the
people
fact
be arguing,
that this was
I don't agree with John Lennon being up there, or I don't agree with...
oh, yes, they would definitely.
I don't agree with William Shakespeare being up there, because he wasn't that great.
No, anybody you chose to put on the side of a mountain. I mean, let's face it, they are doing it with statues, which are basically the same thing. So-and-so doesn't deserve to have a statue. Everybody's got an opinion on, I don't think there's anybody you could choose that 100% of everybody would be okay with. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody's going to have a problem with somebody, or somebody's going to have a problem with whoever, whatever I'm trying to say. I don't know, yeah.
I mean, your person, if you could change Mount Rushmore over here.
Ugh.
Like, knowing what you know now, would you put on
like else? Just replace the presidents, like we're
yes,
just putting...
I think I know who yours 4 heads would be.
Do not even.
And you know too.
I don't know
you?
if you should even. I don't even know if you should like.
Even
I
talk.
don't even know if we should go there.
Oh, what do you think? Where did you think I was going to go?
No, I don't know.
Well, there you go then. What?
But we try to steer clear of controversy on this.
There's
on
no
this
podcast,
podcast,
these people are controversy free.
Presidents?
No, not presidents.
No, I'm saying who would we replace with like, what 4 presidents will we put up there now if we were going to replace them with
it doesn't have to be presidents.
Okay. Then what for? Just four American people. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know who I would put on there. Who do you think I would put on there?
Well, I think you'd put on there Stacy Schroeder, Jax Taylor, Tom Sandoval, and Tom Schwartz.
Oh my god. Yeah, those wouldn't be controversial at all.
It would be Vanderpump, Mount Rushmore, the Vanderpump Rules edition. It's like Monopoly now. There's a load of editions.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I was just thinking that. I was just looking at our shelves here, and I was like, oh, Dumbledore should be on a Mount Rushmore.
Dumbledore,
maybe
Wizards,
Grogu.
Grogu, all like fantasy.
Yeah.
Dumbledore, Gandalf, Grogu, and Dobby.
I
mean, that pretty much hits up all the rest of, everything. I mean, it's just such a crazy kind of like concept. And as I say, it probably would be in Yorkshire like that. Person said it'd just be like, because I'm trying to think now, where would it be a great? Because I thought, maybe
in Britain now.
Yeah, in the cliffs of Dover.
Oh yes,
but it's like that's chalk.
But then they would crumble. Cliffs would just crumble.
They just crumble right off. You could see like Boris's face just crumbling.
Just,
melting,
like
just melting.
The Wicked Witch and the Wizard of Oz.
Yes, it was the guy.
His crazy hair, pieces of his hair just falling off into the sea.
I mean, that's happening in real life, I think. But, yeah. But yeah, it's just kind of like sporting heroes. They'd have to choose sporting heroes.
Yeah.
Because over here it was most like if they had every state had their own type of Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that I haven't looked into it. That there probably is. There's probably something here in Texas that's like that.
Oh, I don't know. Not that I know of.
Like they haven't chiseled out a quarry.
No.
And thought, oh yeah, we can put Roy Orbison up on here and Buddy Holly.
No. Oh, that's a good idea.
See, I'm thinking of big Texas music artists.
Willie Nelson.
Yeah. I was going to say Garth Brooks, but he's Oklahoma, isn't he?
Yeah.
Who else is from Texas? There's a lot from
Texas. Oh, there's a lot of people.
Beyonce. There you go. You got it. Beyonce's from Houston.
Beyonce, yeah?
Yeah, Beyonce's from Houston, so we got Roy, Buddy, Willie, and Beyonce. And that's all you need for a band right there.
Yeah.
Chiseled into a quarry.
Yeah.
Into a limestone quarry. Oh, it's not limestone, is it? Is it limestone?
What?
It's around here.
Limestone, yeah.
Limestone. Oh, okay, yeah. Because I think it's just like a chalk.
Yeah. I think so,
It's soft.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Don't live there.
Yeah, what? Well, I mean, this is a completely different topic, but I have seen video of, I guess they wrap all around the whole edge, right? So it's not just like, and
they call it the Jurassic Coast.
Some people live like on the edge.
Well,
in some areas, and I've seen their houses are like
they've fallen in. Yeah, I mean they have to sell them.
It's just like why?
And it's like I don't know who they're going to sell them to because it's like
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't.
I mean, the Jurassic Coast, it wraps all the way around Britain, but I think it's only, like, in that area, there's, like, a lot of
I thought the Jurassic Coast was over by Cornwall.
It's, like, in Dorset, yeah,
okay.
But I don't think it's quite spectacular. But, yeah, that's another... we're just looking at, potential locations for this now.
Yeah.
Maybe people can just, paint faces on Stonehenge.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Stonehenge also.
It's like, what's it for? Why is it here? It's like, it's here for us to carve people's faces into stone. And someone said, reality TV stars. You could have Chloe Ferry and Joey Essex and...
Gemma Collins.
The GC.
Yes.
But
my god. You could have fictional... You could have characters...
Harry Potter, James Bond.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh and Paddington.
Yeah. Aww, that would be the cutest Mount... See, now that is an unproblematic Mount Rushmore. Winnie the Pooh, Paddington... I don't know about James Bond. He might be a little bit problematic as a character.
No, just like anthropomorphic bears. You'd have Rupert the Bear, Paddington. Sooty. Yeah, oh, there you go. Sooty the Bear, Rupert, Paddington, and Winnie the Pooh.
Which
and
one's
that's
Rupert?
It. Rupert the Bear? Oh, you haven't seen Rupert the
Is
Bear?
he the one with the head thing? He's got an injured head.
No, that's Pudsey.
Oh.
See, there's a lot of bears in Britain. Okay? They're all vying for that number 1 spot.
There's a lot of bears in Britain, yet there are no
bears.
There are no bears.
No, because they're all fictional. They've been driven out by these fictional bears that live there.
Oh my
Immigration from Paddington, coming from Peru.
There's so many, famous fictional characters. That would be a lot better than having actual people, because actual people tend to be problematic in one way or another.
Yeah, because, you can't be problematic unless you're written problematic.
You could do, Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, yeah.
Yeah.
You could do that in forests.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any.
Yeah. Oh, you could carve faces into trees.
In Puzzlewood.
Yeah. Or in I don't know. All right. This is going off the rails.
It's going off the rails. We're trying to decide here because we're on the board of deciding where to put this British Mount Rushmore. Style thing. But yeah, no fictional characters, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think all the bears have
That's
got to
the way to go. Just fictional. No real people.
No real Dumbledore.
No real people
Harry
should
Potter.
ever have a statue, or any sort of monument to them.
Just all fictional people.
Yes.
And it's who's that? And it's just I have no idea. It's some guy from a book. Some guy from a movie.
Gandalf.
Gandalf, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we're all out of this.
I don't know if that discussion really went the direction that I
we kind of meandered. We meandered.
I'm not sure what I thought this conversation was going to be, but I think I enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to.
Because you were just
Yeah.
Where am I going to put those people? But yeah, fictional characters. I think there should be fictional characters over here too.
Yeah.
Like the cast of Vanderpump Rules are fictional characters.
Oh my god, you guys, he is obsessed with Vanderpump Rules.
I am not.
Thing. It is the best thing ever.
I am obsessed with the editing of Vanderpump Rules.
He is obsessed. He's never
and
gotten
the characters
into
of
reality
Brock.
television ever in his entire life.
I have. That's a lie. That's a downright lie.
What reality television have you been into?
I was into Big Brother before it was cool.
Were you?
Yeah.
I didn't know this about you.
I used to watch that, and season 2, I think.
You are lying.
When Bubble and all them were on it. This is Big Brother UK, and if anybody who's my age will and I happen to watch it.
You do kind of like the reality dating show.
Celebs go dating. Yeah, but that's only for the comedy aspect of the Rob Beckett's voiceovers and everything,
Yeah.
Genius voiceover, mate.
Mm.
First Dates and First Dates Hotel.
Oh,
with Fred. I don't know if they do that anymore.
We don't know, yeah.
But yeah, Vanderpump Rules. That's your big
yes,
one.
Yes, he's super into
So that's my favourite Bravo show.
Yeah. It's kind of the only one that I watch now.
Yeah, you don't care about the Housewives anymore, do you?
No, I haven't in a while.
No, you don't want to watch them.
Apparently, New Jersey Housewives is quite juicy this year, but...
Juicy Joe.
No, I don't think so. Not for him. I think he's long gone.
Long gone.
Anyway. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. Do let us know who would be on your Mount Rushmore, either here in the United States or in Britain or in Europe, wherever you want to let us know. Would you have fictional people on? Would you have real people on? Just let us know. We're kind of curious. We're interested in this topic.
Yeah.
We're interested in all things not real, basically.
Not real.
Except for reality TV. Except for Vanderpump Rules.
Yes.
Yeah. Be sure to check us out and give us a follow on social media. If you don't follow us already, we are at TButty, TEABUTTY on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we'll talk to you all next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.